Hey there, Pisces. This is Joy with Joy to the World, here to bring you an intuitive look into the energy going on around you. How have y'all been? I hope you're doing well. Finding some things to entertain yourself during this semi-lockdown season that we've got going on. That doesn't stop anything else from going on, so we're going to take a good look here. You guys are going to be the first ones to see me use this deck. It's pretty fantastic. We could go ahead and take a look at the bottom. Seems you've got things coming and going your way. So that's the, let me peek around the side of the box, the Antique Anatomy Tarot. I enjoyed looking all the way through it, and it's very distinct. It's made from old vintage images of, I'm not going to say, because I don't want to blow the surprise. So, anyways, since y'all are so very Neptunic, and I have so much Neptune in my chart that I'm ready to dive in and take a look and see how these guys work out for us. I hope y'all have been well. Glad to have you here. This is my second reading for y'all. The one I cast yesterday, I just could not post it. It seemed like bits and brickle, kind of like broken down, and I could say redundant but not, and it was weaving things in and out, which I'm sure would make perfect sense to you guys, but there was a like flash waves of new information coming in that'll be arriving in the next few days, and I felt like it made its way in there incongruently and could cause a bit of confusion, so ditched it, and here we go. We've got a new set. We're going to look at this and see what's going on for you guys, okay? In our first row, we have dreams come true. This is like shake up to wake up kind of energy, like an alarm would do, kind of buzz you awake, get you moving, get you going. It's that type of thing. It's a shake up to your dreams, because that's a new wave of energy coming. It's not just planetary. It's not just the eclipse. It's that we're stepping into a new zodiac. And you guys were kind of hinting at that in your last reading, because it was very Cancerian, the water energies in the home and hearth that were showing up as an encouragement for Pisces. So here I still see that energy coming through. Wake up, wake up. It's time to have your dreams come true. It's time to start living again. Maybe it's now that we have a little bit of more freedom of movement going on, or just the need to make more solid connections with the people who are in your immediate environment. Like, I have a couple of neighbors that one isn't working in this season in life, and the other one has been having to work from a home office ever since the quarantine and the sequestering began. So we get together on a regular basis because none of us have contact with anyone else right now at this time. So that's it. It's like begin to have some of that social interaction, some of that spark, some of that awakening of dreams, because dreams just isn't always these defined, hard-found ideas of, I want this, this, and this. Sometimes it's that energy that begins to course through and flow through, like the sun warming the ground, that causes your dreams to awaken, the seeds to erupt and to grow and to bring forth and bear fruit. Okay? So it's more the energy that awakens your dreams that's being spoken about in this row here. All right. Well, we have the Hermit. And this is number 9. I told you the deck was magnificent. So they mixed anatomy with botany. It's pretty fantastic. I have a lot of Pluto in my chart. We're going through this Pluto season, so I was really drawn into taking a look at the things that we're often drawn back from. You know, that life really does come from death. You know, animal, vegetable, mineral, something has to die in order for us to eat, for us to live. It does. It's a cycle of life. And so here, like the two kiss. It's like our lives, and just there we go. They're touching together, and heaven kisses earth. So in this Hermit, it has to do, it's speaking about a lot of unconscious understanding, like some back knowledge, kind of the 2020, the hindsight, stuff that's just stored up, and you keep shoving in the back of the closet that you need to kind of rifle back there and take a deeper look, because you might find a few treasures buried back there. And these could be physical things, yeah, sure. You know, like waking up dreams, you find something, you're like, oh, I remember this. It might be a photo album, or maybe a favorite sweater, or, you know, some handwritten note from times gone by. But it can also be in your mind. It can be ideas, it can be memories, it can be things like that that you just haven't taken time to think about. Because when it seems like life in front of you has been shut off, we can get kind of in a stagnant, boxed in energy and forget that we have the wealth and the resources of our mind to turn to. Okay? So under here, this is a new deck as well. This is the Divine Animals Oracle we've got going on, first time used. These just came in. I'm so excited. This is bottom of the deck here. And that is called Meerkat. So let's see what you've got going on in the dreams come true. We have Bison Energy, Ritual. It's number 35. So we have a 9. Now we have an 8 coming on in. I'm taking note of a lot of... it's beyond the word polarity, but that's what's being activated. But it is the energy betwixt the two. It is the electrical storm of sorts, and not a bad thing. If you've ever seen heat lightning, you get to see this magnificence erupt through the sky, and it's often quite vast and voluminous. And it's being lit up over and over and over again, and it creates such a sense of awe and wonder because there is no threat coming from it. There is awesomeness. So that's what this card is hinting at, is awakening. You are here to awaken your awesomeness and to look back on things that you found exciting and great. This is a time for reflection, to begin to shake up, to wake up, right? To reinvigorate things that once brought you joy, brought you life, and connections that did as well. And also in the simple things, those things that when you're into it, they may be simple, but they bring you so much from so little. But your awesomeness is right here on board. And I do see that, the connection you see there too going on in here. Okay, so tightening those bonds. Yeah, that doesn't sound right. Strengthening those bonds. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so underneath it, we've got the Mystical Dream Oracle, and we have the Six of Cups. See here, she's really taking a good look at herself. It's like digging in the back of the closet with that Hermit card that we have going on here. Digging into some memories, maybe even digging into some physical earthly memories, finding those things, awakening yourself and bringing yourself forward. Like images when they're layered and you compress them in together, and it creates this unique merging of dynamic energies that wouldn't have necessarily been thought to be found in the same place. Like if you could take your wisdom now and have given it to your younger self, where would you actually be? How fantastic. Or if you could have that vigorous energy of youth in your current life state, what would you do with that? Those are questions to ask, because this card is also about making the impossible possible. And it's when we begin to look at it and begin to take a study, it's like a puzzle. It can be put together. It is possible. But first you have to be willing to, this is bottom of the deck of these handmade cards here, see the unseen. These unseen forces that are at work here. That's the essence of spirit showing up there to blow on your life, to kind of stir the particle dust. Not the stank, nasty, gosh, I got to clean up dust. But no, these primal, innate pieces of stardust, fabric of you. And with it we have the Four of Cups. This card is very balanced. It's not hearkening to loss of any sort. Matter of fact, this one is talking to me about mending. It's about binding yourself together. That's a lot of the bonds and the binding and the making friends. Make friends with yourself. Make peace with yourself during this time. And that's coming under the wake up to shake up, activating your dreams to come true. You are your best dream. And when you make friends with yourself and you make peace with yourself and you are in awe of like the polarity of who you were and who you are now, and allow them to begin to merge the best parts of yourself, it creates that magnificent reflection, like watching the heat lightning storm in the sky. But this is your higher self, your spirit, your future self, your best self. They're all kind of collaborating to bring forth, in a sense, we'd say the new and improved you, but not improved like you aren't good enough as it is. It's that refinement that comes along when you learn how to do things more wisely. You can create that recipe and that stepwise process that you love to follow. In Sagittarius this week, we learned very much about the Temperance card, that it's not so much hearkening to patience as it is process. Process is a moving through patience. It's being able to activate and to operate, not just a like standby for an airplane. You get what I'm saying? You are in transit is what it's kind of hinting at. So being woven together, being put back together, Humpty Dumpty, together again. And in this next row, it says olive, you. See the little olives and the seeds coming down and the love that's stored in here. And it says all of you too. It's about love reciprocated. It's divine connections. This can be spirit-wise. This can be ancestral-wise. It can be, like, say you loved botany, your favorite teachings that you haven't just pondered in quite some time. But it is a two-way street. It is a connection. So let's see what this connection is about here. This is the elixirs, the Nine of Elixirs. So this card, this one is particularly taking me back to like preteens and teens. Okay? It's that stage of, not that you necessarily are awkward, but it's a stage of awkwardness in that being uncomfortable because you're changing and the world around you is changing, kind of like what's happening right now. And that can make us slightly uncomfortable. And when we're uncomfortable, we can act out in certain ways, and not like act out to get attention, but like not being in tune and in touch with ourselves, not having that tempered merging energy. It'll be kind of popping in and out of yourself. Yeah. So let's see where we go from there. Okay. Here we have ancestors, polar bear. That's a very stabilizing energy. Let you guys take a look. I need a second with this. Okay. I thought I did because, you know, the polar bear over the shoulder, that ancestral energy, but basically you're the person that's in this image. This is you. And that's what we're talking about in line with this polarity card, the awesomeness of the merging of your younger self, that youthful energy along with your wisdom that you've gained through experience. It's saying, I am done playing games. And the thing is we are eternal, we are infinite, we are everlasting, and so we can be fully present now, the youthful part and the wisdom at the same time. So your wisdom is now speaking to that part of yourself, is like, I am done with games. I am done flickering and popping in and out of myself. We might not even realize that we're still doing it today in certain things, like walking into a group where I only know one person. There's this big group of people and they all know each other. I kind of pop out of my back. It's like, shrink, and there might be this human still standing in front of them, but meanwhile my soul is 10 steps behind me going, get me out of this room, get me out of this room. And that's a habit, because I don't truly feel that way. When I see people, I think, man, I think awesomeness, amazingness. Let me find out about that person. Let me go bond with them and have them share their life experience with me, their beauty, their deliciousness, their divineness, their power, and whatever they want to share, of course, but really the genuine interest in other people. So that's what you're saying, game over here, done with the hiding out, done with the turtling, you know, the in, the out, and really just getting rid of that shell, shedding it. You're saying is, since I've lived long enough that I should be bold and free. And if anyone could give me that boldness and freedom, it's me. And so this love letter is to yourself. All of you, all of you, all of you too. That's a beautiful connection. I love it. I love it. So forming bonds with other people, with yourself, and forming a connection as well. So you're hinting at something there and teaching me um, to delve deeper into my understanding and seeking to denote the difference between connections and bonds. I feel it and I know it, but at some point I'll need to be able to put words to it. So thank you for that. Now underneath, ooh, you the genie in the bottle, Lord of Pentacles. Look at that. This has a lot of Hierophant energy in there. Hierophant, Emperor. We've got kind of it's kind of a Four of Swords energy going on here as well. I wasn't quite sure what to say with the nuns down at the bottom, and nothing for or against nuns, but it has to do with like religious dogma. You know, you kind of hit a ceiling in that, and you were hemmed in and walled in when you have so much passion, so much insight, instinct, and intuition, and now the intellect, merging it all together, giving yourself permission, like you said, game over. This is part of that game. You know, having submit to other authorities and outmoded ways, outmoded thinking. It's not just outside of yourself. After a while, it wasn't like one day somebody handed us the key to ourself and said, you are now your final authority. No, we're like, woohoo, 21, I can drink. Woohoo, I'm off to college. Or woohoo, I'm living on my own. I can this, I can that, I can this. When a lot of it was really, I can do everything I was told I couldn't do. So it's not necessarily authentic. That's that popping in and out and bouncing all around in the fun house where you're here going, hey, no, it's time to get this together. And I love that divine essence. It's like, you know, the arms are folded here, so it's a time of considering, not considering. In a sense, it was like, I'm going to feel this out. But I'm like, wanting to say, rub your belly, make your dreams come true. You know, ask yourself for your wishes and what would it be and what would it look like. Being able to offer yourself that opportunity. Because they are your dreams. There's a number of them that you can bring to life. That if you will ask yourself, okay, thank you. So part of what I learned in this last year to 2 years of really being in the furnace and the fire, some intense stuff, is that we go through a state of telling ourselves, get up and go to work, you need to do this, you need to do that, what else do I need to do today? And it's need, do. It's very, very much this energy and this energy. Very defined, clearly defined, it's expected, you're obligated, those type of things. And it can seem like it's the doorway to freedom, but in a sense, it's not necessarily the doorway to possibility. Because there's this thing going on over yourself as if like even the possible not totally being possible. You know, shutting yourself out of some of even your common fantasies of unwinding in the evening but thinking, I've got too much work to do, I need to get my paperwork done. If you ask yourself, how can I get my paperwork done and enjoy my evening? And you wait for an answer. You don't go to the frontal lobe, the thinking mind, which is where the Pop-Tarts come out of the toaster. Our subconscious is like that toaster where the things are formed, but it's formed through layers and habits and things like that. So the most direct way I've found to really rewrite a new script, to reprogram your subconscious yourself without, having to listen to meditations while you sleep and take a long time, just kind of like slapping yourself along to change habits, but to just get on the same page with yourself by submitting to your own authority. I mean, this is your authority here. You are the authority. This is the Emperor card. I know it's the Lord of Pentacles, but in this, he is the Emperor. He is the Magician. And you're overcoming. So ask yourself, how is it that I do that? Or say you dream of, an Alaskan cruise when things are moving again. And you say, how can I afford that? Not how can I afford that, but you ask yourself, how can I afford that? How can we afford that? And he'll say, well, maybe if you didn't take that one extra trip per week to run to pick up groceries and you didn't throw any food out, you learn to really utilize everything you buy. Do you know that'll add up to this, this, and this by the end of the year? And you'll think, huh. And the moment that one little window, that one little glitch in the old matrix flickers, the possibility, this sizzle, this pop, this bang begins to wake up like a champagne cork. Bam, pop, let's celebrate. And you think, oh, well, what else could I do? Because when you begin to see the logic in the illogical of submitting to yourself, your own authority, and asking yourself how to do it, not deciding and figuring, but starting with a simple question. A simple question for your own dreams and desires, and watch your mind work. When you give it permission to move freely, it will find the most creative, most effective, sometimes outrageous, electric idea. It's really powerful. So it's amazing. Anyways, I'll leave it there. Y'all are smart. You know what I'm talking about. So let's jump in this next row. Row 3, we got get cozy. But I'm hearing it in a different form. I'm hearing getting cozy, okay? You see it? Get in some snuggle bunnies. Get in some Cosmolos. Shift down, downshift. Shift down your gears. Downshift in the evening time. Do things that are ritual and ceremonial. If you're someone who likes tea, get the tea and get the blanket. Say it's summertime and you like your house cool at night when you're going to go to sleep. Get it cool an hour earlier. And really just go ahead and slip into those pajamas and sit under the blanket before you're having to just nod off and go to sleep. It's like what I'm hearing them say is it's a time for you to begin your ponderings and your musings and your riflings. They're like, and riflings to the list and, okay. So does your mind ever get a little busy at night? Like kind of swamped with obligations, and it's not necessarily just words. It's these feelings and these implosions and these oppressive, overpowering type energies. Now they're not like strongman arm wrestling type, but it's just it's like whapping your soul with a fly swatter. I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting here. And look, you see it? There's the little splats. There's all the flies you're splatting. All the annoyances. It's that annoying feeling of just so many things, and that is Neptune. I mean, and take it, if you got some Jupiter swirling up in there on top of that, you would have double dose, triple dose of just, so much coming at you, and just, information about more than even yourself, about your community, your loved ones, how to plan the best retreat, how to make the office party flow better, anything like that. It's going out and seeking and trying to bring things into you, and it's saying, hey, start that process an hour earlier. Like merge them in a sense of kind of like the merging of your awesomeness. Like I said, make it a little cooler earlier and get a snuggly blanket, but sit up on the couch and maybe jot some of those things out. But again, you're not deciding, you're not hardcore numbering it and figuring it out. You're just kind of not lucid dreaming, but more like lucid planning. Just kind of letting some things flow to see and get ideas to submit to your authority. You're like, I will take those into consideration. And because there's no all this rigidness and all this expectation coming at you of decide, no, it can just kind of flow, and then the next day you get up and you start your day and you're like, I like that one. Isn't that brilliant? I love how practical life can be. That's fantastic. For some of you, it may be, soaking in the tub and brainstorming while you're in there and jotting down the ideas. But it has to do with about winding down in the evening time and doing it before you get into bed. And not watching TV in bed. That's what they're saying is let your bed for a time be sacred. Just for a time. It's not saying always and forever, just for a time. And see what that does to your life, what that does to your process, and then what that does from there in the cycle of life. And then see how it works for you. It might be the very answer that you need long term that makes your life be easy and light. It makes it slide into the comfort. I love it because so Maat is this deity. She's considered the daughter of the sun, and that she would measure and weigh the hearts of people that have just died. Well, sleep is a form of death, okay? And so here she is, say she measures your heart and it's burdened, it's not light as a feather. Well, I forgot what ends up happening, but isn't the great stuff, you know? And as we know, burdens aren't great. Stress isn't great. It'll feed and bleed into your next day. So be light as a feather. When you just give yourself permission to ask and not have to decide and formulate or execute or do anything like that in your evening time, when all that's pressing in, you go ahead and you do it in a relaxed environment. Lucid planning, is that what we called it? As opposed to lucid dreaming, y'all want to kind of be a little bit more practical and activated with that. Let's jump down. Let's see what's going on. Oh, okay. We have the 4 rods here. I hear him clearly say, so you'll be bright and bushy-eyed in the morning. Like perky. Not just choosing from your divinity and your sovereignty of like, I will be this, I will be this. It's like more of a surrender of all this command, the commander, the decision maker, the driver, into this like passenger of life where you are the decider, you are all those things, but it's a freedom within yourself. You're at ease. You feel free to move at a steady pace instead of marching, right? It's walking, it's jogging, it's sauntering, it's skipping, it's whatever. It's going along, and you'll be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Well, that now has brought in a whole new energy, a whole new charge to your life. Thus, dreams begin to wake up even more, because when we're in that freedom state, it's almost like, well, like the arm lifting. The train is cleared, the arm's lifting, and you can proceed forward. It's like, well, all right then, game on, let's go. And as when we give ourselves that permission to ask ourselves what to do instead of demanding and commanding, it becomes more of that two-way street that we were finding out about over here. Beautiful. And I see it really begins to anchor your soul, to tie it down. Binding, tying, all these things, but they're really not in those sense. It's not going to hem you in. These are some of the security and stability that you need, the reliability, in order to stand up, we need the firmness of the floor to resist us as we stand, so we have something to press against. So in a sense, it's helping you move forward. It's helping you have that earth under your feet. Oh, I love this. That's fantastic. It's number 33. Okay, love that number. It's called Change, and it's the chameleon. We have one, a little chammy. Look at that. Look at that magnificence. Okay, I'm hearing it. A whole new world. A new fantastic point of view. Now what's wild is down beneath we see this barrenness going on, and we see these huts, we see this dry grass. And so that's an area replete of moisture. Well, chameleons are from, I think it's originally Madagascar. So they're in this wet region. They have moisture around. And so the lady here is saying, say it so. Say it so. You can rise up above this. That's like here. And that refreshment that you have is taking you out of drought. Oh, you're funny. Is taking you out of doubt. Doubt is your drought. Dang. And y'all are fish. You don't need no drought. You sure don't need a frozen tundra so that you can be fossilized. Oh my, really? Takes you out of drought. Into this magic, and I see this synergy in the heavens, the nebula are erupting here, which I absolutely love. It's like star form creation. The power is in your decision, and it's in these nuances of adaptation and change, which yesterday's message had actually been about. And I trust, I'm like, that message will still be here. Bring it forth in a new manner. And it was about being gentle and about just little nudges, little adaptations that really change the entire course of everything and the condition that you're in when you get there. And y'all are beautiful people, just glowing skin and magnificent eyes and these great collarbones. You really carry things quite well. And to be able to feel that way down here, inside as well in your gut, remember, it stabilizes, it anchors your spirit, it roots you in, so that there isn't this boating going on beneath the surface. Instead, you pop up on top and you like, hello, it's time for change, sunny skies and rain, not just hot and arid desert. We've got all this magnificence, this life coming forth. It's you figuring out how to live life that's easy and light. Somewhere we were kind of duped and fooled along the way. Many of us were sold the thinking that if it isn't hard, it isn't worth it. That easy is cheating. But it's not. That form of easy that they're talking about is like skipping steps and like gypping yourself and chintzy out. You're not, it's hollow, it's empty. It's like that hollow chocolate bunny, right? It looks like one thing, but it's totally another. That's not what this is talking about. Easy and light is about ease. And light meaning no burdens. You know, it's like the confidence, the self-assurance, the knowingness, the being in union with yourself. Because, well, like a lot of newscasters, they'll give traffic reports from a helicopter. Because if they were trying to give it from down on the ground, they couldn't even report about things all over the place because they don't even have the perspective to see it. So when you have this union, getting on the same page with yourself, your higher self, you know, in the Piscean fish, and the lower self is really anchored in, it gives you that opportunity to see the bigger picture, to excel, to move with that ease and that light, to be burden free. Because it's like traffic jam up on aisle 3, and you're like, well, we'll just go this way. And because you're told in advance, you have an opportunity to choose from, you know, different options of what you want, and to still feel like, you know, you're in charge. You're your own authority. But it feels playful. It feels navigable. It feels beyond doable. It feels comfortable. And comfortable isn't bad. That's what row we're in. We're in the getting cozy. Get comfortable. I love that. And then y'all can teach us about it. Now, Pisces is my IC. It is my North Star. But it's the least known part about ourselves that no one, this is basically no one would know that part of you. So it's something that's just always been inside of me, like what I'm doing here, and now it is time to come out. And we can share that with others about how we found being gentle with ourselves makes us incredibly powerful and wise and invigorating. Okay. Down here we have the Nine of Swords. Let me take a look at her. Okay. So some of you are still have a few questions after all this, and it's alluding to being boxed in, and the question, what if, what if, what if, what if? And that what if is speeded up by about 1,000 times, and you'll get it. And it's like this, it is a jackhammer. Look at this floor. Look at that foundation trying to come apart. But that's why the ease and light is here. So I would say if you're still having some of those, wait till we move through this this final column going on, or replay it. Because the first time you're hearing all this, it might just be so foreign that you know, your ears were already full, and they're like, wait, I don't have room, and you'll look back and listen back to where in the beginning it said, dig in the back of that closet. unearth and find some things in there. Maybe there will be some cleaning and clearing out of old energy or ideas or ways of doing things, or even past lives. And I don't mean those kind. I mean previous ways of being and doing things that don't fit your life anymore. And yeah, because I see a bit of holding on. There is some nostalgia here, and it has to do with sorrow and lost love, specifically. Lost loved ones. For some of you, it is a mate, and for others, it's an ancestor. It is an elder. The one who loved you most. The one that made you believe the most in love. They didn't make you, but being around them, this magic came alive inside of you. This possibility of like, you're just, like a Disney movie, like the old time ones where just birds and butterflies and sparks, and even the flowers are talking and singing, and the life was animated and magical. I feel the depth of that sorrow. That's what we want to hear. Sorry, when it moves through me, it's so real, and it's deep. And it's not a ton of you. Well, even though all of y'all have been through this, there's like a remnant for probably everybody tuning in. But the ones that it's the biggest thing in the picture, it's deep, it's intense. But that's the bottom of the deck over here, the unseen forces, spirit. See those lips blowing out the old leaves, the fallen dreams, the lost loves, the lost hopes and dreams for your life. There it is again. I feel for you, and I love you. And I'm sorry for your loss. Not just the physical, tangible loss, but the swords loss, the wands loss, the dreams and the things that we've been touching on. But you're here. You are seeking and moving, whether you know it or not. Good job. Okay? So be patient and be kind. Go easy on yourself and be gentle with yourself. Okay? And you start doing just that, being gentle and easy with yourself. I see here the magic of spirit. This same spirit that's blowing over here. See all those little curly cues? Look, it's just like her. Okay? They'll step in and be that force for you as you're the chameleon. And they'll readjust your environment. And whether that's, like this, what you're living in, what you're driving, where you're at, or this environment, okay? They'll help you. Just ask. Just ask. Okay. We love them, don't we, family? So over here we have creative concepts. It has come out sideways, so we're going to dive in to see what that is about. We have got the star. Number 17. And I clearly hear in this card that you are the world. You are the world. And I honestly believe that my core is that the way I live my life in accordance with my beliefs does change the whole world, even if it had never been spoken about. The way I make eye contact with the person who's checking out my groceries versus cracking jokes and complimenting the person who's taking my package at the post office, or when the repairman came in, pouring forth life of what I was seeing inside of him and telling him about the patterns that was going on around him in the future. And he's like, "How did you know?" And I said, "I see it. I want you to know I see you. You are the world. This ease, this gentleness, this beauty, and this life coming in the midst of like the first ones who get these awesome cards about Pluto retrograde. It's just like embracing Pluto. Like Neptune's like one step removed of Pluto. Okay, they're pretty close, and I love them both. And it's making peace with those things that are behind us, peace with those things that we have no control over, that we can't see coming, or that are those annoyances buzzing about our ear that we don't even know what to do, until we begin to take this deeper, closer look, until we have those solid connections with ourselves and bonds with those that we can trust and love to speak into our life, and that we can speak into their lives as well. You're going to shine like the noonday, because the sun is a star. You matter. And that's what I get from that card. Y'all are like, turn on the water. Huh. Okay. Here's more water. I can't even read the Bible words. I got like a drop in my eye. Hang on. Okay, song lines, and it's Orca. Isn't that wild? That they're coming from the sky. See, she's on the dry earth. She's on a cliffside, curled up in her dream. She was on a journey seeking and looking. And she needed a place to lay her head to rest, because she had made it as far as she knew to go. And just gave spirit herself. And these divine beings, these beings of balance, came in to check on you. And they're speaking with their presence. It's not about getting the words right, of what to say to your sorrow or your loss, but it's just having people around who you know love you. They love you. Not all the great things about you and what you can do. They love you, the person, the star. Because what you do comes from who you are. And that's why it hurts so deeply. We pray that love come in again. Come from up above. And some earth angels, that's kind of what they're hearkening to here. Some earth angels, some people just like you. But they just have this knowing to be tender and gentle with you. That card's number 30. Some creative friends. Some people who love life. To bring that spark of life. To return the water to that barren land. To wash away those doubts. Because some of you were abandoned here through divorce. That kind of a death of people walking away from you. Well, these will be walking into your life very soon. And here we have the Three of Swords. It's not what you think, y'all. Take a look. It's breaking those chains. Like over here, I had to dance around the words that were being used, because those words could be triggers when it wasn't meant that way at all, because this is a two-way street. It's permission. It's acceptance. It's connection. It's these good things where it's like two hands being held. There's bindings and trappings and wrappings and chains, like what's going on here. You see the purity, the robe, the ease, the flow, and the powerful forces rising up, and there's that beautiful star. And you see the life springing forth at your feet. This is showing me that you really have reached out. You really have opened up to being set free from being hemmed in, backed into a corner, from the what ifs, jackhammering your mind to where there is no respite, no peace for you. And now there is. And you're being empowered to where you yourself are breaking those chains. And not only breaking them, I see it like, so I live near the ocean, And people's six-pack holders, those plastic rings, anytime you see them here and you go to put them in your own trash, you scissor them up, all the holes, all the circles. That's what I love about this chain breaking. It's breaking every link, cutting every link, not because you need it. You're already free. Can you see? You're already free in this channel over here, but you're not wanting it like those six-pack rings to choke out anything else that lives in the water, for anything else to get caught and trapped and hurt like this. So you're breaking every link in the chain. And with each link that you break, you're getting more power over your mind, your thoughts, your ideas of how you see yourself, how you see the world, and how you see others. And it's very clear, it's very empowering. And it comes back to this one, this star, right? You are the world. And what you do for yourself, you have genuinely done for the whole world. You may not get to tell everybody, but you do through your presence, through your life, how you carry yourself, how you interact, how you also draw back too. Because life's not just knowing when to stand up for yourself, it's knowing when to stand up to yourself. It's both. Knowing when to go, when to come. You know, when to open up and when to close down. Okay, so bottom of the deck of all these, we already saw over here that it's the unseen forces. Spirit is willing to step in and sweep away the old. And over here, it's the rods. It's the 8 of rods. And it says, you've got this coming and going. You've got a double portion. And, but of course I'll do. You're dual sign, right? Asleep or awake. Once you get this cycle flowing and going, it's like a fountain. It perpetuates. It's like investments. They compound and they take care of themselves. All right. And then over here we have 16, responsibility, the mirror cat. I'll give you all a peek and then I'll take a closer look. Seeking guidance and direction of how to color your world. It's in conjunction with this one, because chameleons do change colors, irregardless of what they say in all the forums and whatever else. When they get nervous, the helicopter flies over, she changes colors. When the other lizards, like the wild lizards out in the yard, come to flirt with her, she changes colors. When we tickle her, she changes colors. So in this, it's seeking how to color your world. Your world, because this was your world and this is your divine self coming down, so you have a whole new world to create. And where's that going to be? And what does it look like? You know, as you've in a sense reinvented, reimagined yourself, it's this merging. You become a whole new creation, even though it's all innately you. Your environment will change around you. Look at it. Look at that environment shift. Can you see that? So different from here to here. It's going to be warm and inviting. And that, okay, so that was the other little trinket of a message from yesterday, is hearth and home, very Cancerian, having people over. Even small groups, small forums, like I said, the regulars that you're already seeing all the time anyway, that you're in regular contact with. And then again, as things open up, to begin to entertain some. It doesn't have to be big or elaborate or the word exaggerative, but it doesn't have to keep being added to. Okay? It can be very simple, very basic. It can just be, you know, have everybody over for a pool party and each person brings some snacks or whatever. It's just facilitating the importance of bonds, of people being able to connect and make meaningful connection. And take it easy, you say. And then down here at the bottom of the Mystic Dream Oracle, Dream Tarot, we've got the Dreamer of Wands. She's inviting life in. You see? We have the above and we have the below. We have the sky and we have the water. It's like the triune existence. You have the unity of self. Serene, peaceful in all your glory. I see abounding. I see magic. Where's that cliff? Where was the cliff? Here on the cliff. Here you are, all grown up. And magic still surrounds you. You still carry that with you. The magic of the special group of people who love you exactly as you are. That's fantastic. Pisces, I want to tell you thank you. Thank you for sharing this with us. Thank you for sharing this time with me and teaching me and guiding through this wisdom as we get to go through it together and have that meaningful experience to enrich our lives and fill up the whole coloring box of this beautiful world. Coloring your world, our world, making it a better place, a kind place, a gentle place, a place that's easygoing and lighthearted, right? So I want to wish you cozy nights. I want to wish you sweet dreams. All of you too. And that spark, that sparkle, this awesomeness, that great heat lightning, the amazement with your own self. It all starts here. I want to tell you, my friends, my family, I love us. I really do. So this is Joy. Sam, bye for now.